my lovelies. I hope you are okay. Welcome back here to Busy Bee Budgets, where we're on a journey of financial intentionality and independence. And this is the first budget of 2023. So I can't believe it's almost been a year. So I started this cash stuffing and budgeting journey back in February. So this will be the 12th month that I've done it. And I just can't believe, A, how quick the time has gone. B, for all your lovely support, and I'm almost at 500 subs, and I guess like many people I do this for keeping myself accountable and also just to keep a record, because time passes really quickly, and I was thinking about this today, I really like the process of sitting down each week and thinking about the money and thinking about where it's going, and I don't have any surprises anymore. I never get caught out by a bill, or I know what's happening all the time. So, and I think I talked about this in one of my other videos, but I feel like I don't get those highs and lows that you get with paychecks. So normally, you feel rich, don't you, for a few days, and then you don't know where it all goes, and then you feel like you're struggling for the rest of the month. And I feel like this has just taken this all away, and particularly with Christmas, I've noticed it. I had cash for things, I had budgets for things, I stuck to those, and it just took all the stress away. And so anyway, that's kind of a bit of a side angle, but I thought today I'd talk to you about my goals for January and then my budget for January. So I was planning on doing like an annual budget for 2023, but because I am moving hopefully in the next few weeks, which is going to have a big impact on my budget, and also I've decided to go back full-time at work from the 1st of April, which again will have a big impact on kind of money and stuff. I've decided to basically not set any annual goals at this stage, but what I'm going to do for April, which will hopefully be like a first month in the house and new money and everything, is set some goals for the financial year. So financial year usually runs April to April, same with the tax year. And what I'm planning on doing then is setting some quite big goals, particularly around saving plans and challenges and stuff. So that's kind of my plan. So what I've done though is I wanted to make January a bit interesting when it came to budgeting and those, and I've set some goals for myself. So the first one is to open a Chase account. So I don't know if you've seen Chase Bank. It's relatively, I think, new to the UK, but I want to open a Chase account. That's going to be specifically dealing with my purchases for the new house. So when we get into the new house, I keep saying new house, it's like a really old house. It's about 350 years old, I think. But it's going to need a lot of work, and it's going to need a lot of everything. So lots of purchasing, so sofas, curtains, carpets, stuff, like all of that kind of stuff, as well as I'm going to need to have quite a lot of work coming done, and like trade and those types of things, which I'm going to need to pay for. So what I wanted to do is open up a separate bank account so that I can more easily budget and keep an eye on that, because I think using my main account, which is what I've done kind of historically for like household stuff, it can all get a bit muddled. So I want to open a Chase account because it's online only, it's kind of separate from my main bank, and I think it would just be really easy then for me to keep an eye on it. And also they are offering currently 2.7% on savings. So what I'm planning to do is move all my savings pots across there, because also it allows you to do really good like setting up individual pots and those types of things, which my current bank doesn't allow me to do. So I'm going to move my savings across to there and have a separate home account that I can then keep a track of like day to day what's happening. So open up a Chase account is number one. I wanted to start tracking my cashback because I was relatively late to the cashback game last year. I think I kind of only really started using Jam Donut in about September, October, and then Top Cashback I think I didn't join till December. So what I want to do this year, and I'm going to show you a little bit of in the January stuff, is track cashback. So just see how much that is bringing in each month. And not because I want it as an income source, but I'm just interested to see how much money you can be sort of, I guess, saving or making just by doing stuff in a slightly different order. So now what I tend to do is check Top Cashback first. So if I'm planning on buying something, is that retailer on there? If so, great, then I'll click through. And then if they're not, then I'll look at Jam Donut and see, can I buy a gift voucher? But even if they are on Top Cashback, I'm also using gift vouchers via Jam Donuts. So I'm kind of getting two ways of cashback. And I'm also joined Cheddar, which is for anything that doesn't go through those two routes. If I spend it on my normal card, get some cashback there. Now the cashback is much lower on Cheddar, but every little helps is my kind of thought process. So I basically don't really want to be doing many transactions next year which don't have some form of cashback. And like I say, I'm going to be spending quite a lot on the new house, especially some big items like furniture. And if I can get cashback on those, then that's going to make a real difference. So I want to start tracking my cashback on a monthly basis. And all that will mean is, like here, what I'm going to do is at the start of each month is track where the what the figures are, and then I'm going to fill that in at the end. So I'm not tracking every single transaction. I'm not adding it in daily. But what I am going to be doing is just keeping a track of it. So as it starts, I cashed out some stuff at the beginning of December to help with Christmas, but my spending for December, so for the start of January's budget, I've already got £41.24 in cash back. So that comes from Top Cashback, Cheddar, Jam Donut, which I talked about, Chase. So that Chase account also has cash back on it, and also has roundups as well. So I'm going to be keeping a track of those. My Nectar balance, I use Nectar because I shop mainly at Sainsbury's at the moment. Though that may well change when we move, and I'll keep an eye on that. But keep a track on my Nectar points because that's another sort of slight form of income. And then interest, I'm going to start tracking on all of these savings accounts and everything else I've got, just again to see kind of every little helps really. So as I say, at the moment for start of January, I've got 41.24. And then I wanted to do some challenges more on kind of the spending side, but I didn't want to do one challenge all month because I think, I don't know about you guys, but I find that quite tough. To like, so a no spend month or whatever, I just thought it'd be quite tough. So what I've decided to do is Yasmine, Camilla and her video, and if you haven't seen her channel, I'm sure you have because she's amazing, but I really love her channel, and she signed up to the Buy Nothing New month, which I think is like it's definitely a hashtag. I'm not quite sure where it comes from, but basically I'm going to aim to buy nothing new. So rather than saying I'm not going to spend at all, what I'm going to say is if I need to buy something and it is more in that need bucket than want, then I'm going to endeavour to not buy that new. So whether or not it's eBay, whether or not it's a charity shop, whether or not it's Facebook Marketplace, Vinted, Depop, whatever, I'm not going to buy anything new. And if it absolutely needs to be new, I'm going to defer that purchase until February and give myself some cooling off time. So yeah, that's kind of the main challenge I'm going to be doing this month. And then what I also wanted to do was do a different challenge every week just to keep it quite fresh. So week one I'm going to do a £50 food shop, and that's for a couple of reasons. Firstly, so usually I give myself around £100, and when I say food shop, that in effect is the groceries budget, which covers dog food, mine and my husband's food, cleaning products, toiletries, everything. So what I'm going to do for week one of January, and January's a 5-week month for me, is I'm going to aim to have £50 for my food shop. So I'm only going to stuff myself £50, and then I'm going to stuff the other one separately. And there's a couple of reasons for that. Firstly, my husband's away for most of the week, so that obviously naturally reduces our food bill. But often when he's away, what I end up doing is treating myself to slightly nicer food. So I might go M&S, or I might have my takeaway by myself, or like I usually treat it as a bit of a treat week. And also, my husband's veggie and I eat meat, so I often tend to eat more meat meals when he's away, and then I'll revert to veggie stuff when he's back because I don't really want to cook 2 different dinners for us. But obviously meat's expensive. So what I'm aiming to do is obviously reduce my grocery bill for 1 week, in effect by half to £50. So I'm going to do that week one, we'll see how we get on. Second is sell on eBay. I know I keep banging on about this, but we are moving house at some point, and I'm naturally getting rid of stuff, and I've today alone I've been to the charity shop and I've been to the tip and got rid of loads of stuff, but still some stuff that I could sell, and so I want to be in week 2 thinking about what I can sell on eBay, and getting that listed and getting that up, so that's kind of going to be one of my priorities for next week. I want to track everything I've put for a week. I might try this for the whole month though, but track everything I spend, like every single penny. So I'm usually, if it's kind of within my cash envelopes or within my spending allowance, I don't really track what I'm buying too much. I'm certainly not one of these people who does zero-based budgeting, like back to the penny. I kind of work in a bit more kind of generality. So, but I just wanted to track everything for a week because I think it's, again, about part of this conscious thing, just being more mindful of every time I tap the card, and just writing it down on paper. I think committing would be good. I'm going to have one no spend week, probably towards the end of the month, where I aim to buy to spend nothing that's not in my core envelopes, so fuel, food, etc. And we'll kind of see. I've got a couple of very spendy weeks, So although it's January and usually obviously everyone starts hibernating, I've actually got a wedding which involves like a 2-night stay in a hotel, obviously food, drinks, present, all that kind of stuff. And then I've got a weekend away with my sister, which won't be as spendy as a wedding, but will still, require eating out and all of those kind of good stuff. So actually kind of in what usually is quite a reserved month, I've got a couple of kind of quite big things. So I want to kind of counteract that, I guess, with a no spend week after those things are done. And then another one that I saw, and this is why watching like these channels is so good, isn't it? Because you just come up with loads of ideas that you wouldn't have thought of yourself. But there's the 2023 challenge, and so what I'm going to aim to do is make see if I can get this right, £2,023 in 2023 purely by selling stuff that we have. So part of this is this eBay element. I've also got some electronics, so like old AirPods, like some Kindles, like an old Mac that we just don't use anymore. And again, in the spirit of trying to move as little as possible to the new house, what I'm going to do is try and get rid of as much of that stuff as I can. We've also got a camera we've never really used, so I'm going to speak to my husband and see if he's comfortable about us selling that, and just try and raise that £2,000, because that would just be a lovely target to hit and potentially could go into a holiday fund for us or something else. So those are all my January goals before I've even got into the cash, but kind of gives you an idea. And I think, again, Yasmine and Camilla was saying this, but I feel like my budgeting's iterating. So I think the first few months when you start doing cash stuffing and budgeting, you're just kind of getting to grips with it all, aren't you? You're getting to understand what's important to you about where you spend money and what's not. And obviously, for those of you who watched my channel last year, you know that I did like a clothing diet for the whole year. So I didn't buy any new clothes. And I realised that actually buying clothes is not that important to me. And I still have a ton of stuff to wear. And again, I will be decluttering more as we kind of get ready for the move. So actually I know that I don't need any clothes, and actually I don't particularly want them. And I think once you step off that buying cycle, because let's be honest, we've all been to Primark and been like, right, okay, great, I can get 6 bits for £30. And because it's so cheap, you don't really think about it. But then, you kind of don't end up wearing most of it or whatever. So that went really well. Similarly, I did the same thing. Well, I did a similar thing with makeup. So makeup, I could only replace stuff. So I couldn't just buy a new lip colour or nail varnish or whatever because I liked it. I had to replace stuff that I used up. So things like my foundation and my concealer, stuff I use every day. And again, I guess it's all about simplifying. And do you know what? I only ran out, I think, of foundation and concealer and mascara. I didn't need any more lipsticks. I still got loads. So it's just all that kind of stuff about using up and being intentional. I think we can all get distracted by consumerism, can't we? And also being seduced by ads and stuff and thinking that latest lip colour will be the perfect red or whatever. And I guess that's their job to make us spend. But equally, I don't necessarily need to participate in that. And then similarly with the home stuff, I put myself on a bit of a home diet towards the back end of the year. So things like cushions, candles, all of that sort of stuff I didn't buy, which usually there will be some Christmassy, an autumn candle or a Christmas cushion or something. And again, it's about, using what I've already got. But I know that obviously when I move to the new house, there will be stuff that we want and need. And so I'm kind of relaxing that. So I think what I'm going to do is continue the clothing diet till the end of January. Mainly because we've got this buy nothing new. And also because then it will be a full year of no spending on clothes. And I think I'm going to continue the beauty kind of adoption of kind of the one in, one out kind of rule, and not getting seduced too much by new products. Right, so that was a real ramble before we get into January budget. So as I kind of mentioned, January is a 5-week month for me. It's going to take me through to the 10th of February. So I get paid on the 6th. It's a little bit early because it's a weekend this week. So I'm going to make it a 5-week month. And then I'm only going to budget on my main salary, which is $5,750. I haven't got any side hustle income this month. And I need to think about I think I'm going to do a separate video on income. Kind of frustratingly, I won't know what my salary will be in April till pretty close to the date, so it'll make it quite difficult to start doing budgeting. But I know this is going to go up, I'd imagine by 20%, but we'll see. So that's that. So I'm just going to budget on the 5,750. But something I'm doing slightly different is my fixed bills. So my fixed bills on my current house come in around £1,400 a month. Though I don't know about anyone else, but my gas and electric bill in December was £600. Like, we'd been hovering around like the 280, 300. Obviously, back last year before it went crazy, we were paying, I think, 175 a month. And I think a combination of us being at home for the whole of December, the really cold weather, but it was £600. That's just ridiculous. So I've got quite a lot of credit still in my energy account, so I don't need to up my payments at the moment, but it just made me think, really, I guess. So the thermostat has gone down in our house after that, and I'm turning into my parents. I don't know about anyone else, like walking around the house switching off lights. But what I'm going to do this month to get me ready for moving to the new house, I'm going to increase the money that I'm putting into my home account to 3,500. So at the moment, that's what I estimate my bills are going to go up to. My fixed bills are things like the mortgage, the home insurance, the life insurance, gas, electric, mobile phone, broadband, basically everything kind of like to do with the house or like adulting expenses. And I'm going to put in 3,500. So that should give me roughly around 2,100 buffer. What I'm going to do is do that for the next few months until we move, for two reasons. A, to get me used to kind of that's what the household bills are. And I know that if I can manage it the next couple of months while I'm on my lower income, then when my income increases, I know that I'll be comfortable, and I've already kind of got into that pattern. But what it's also going to do is help me build up 1 month ahead. So I'm estimating with kind of like the buffer that I've got in there at the moment, and then a couple of months at this higher kind of savings, if you like. I'm not explaining this very well, but basically I think by the time that we move, or by the time April comes around, I'll have around £5,000 within like that home account. And then what I'm going to do is transfer that across to a Chase savings account, and that's going to be my 1 month ahead money. So I've already got £1,000 emergency fund, and what that will do is give me 1 month ahead. So my aim is not to touch that, not to plough it into renovations or do anything for the house with it, but just have it there. Should something go wrong, or I have a problem with my income 1 month, or something else happens, and it's there. So like that will tick the 1 month ahead sinking fund, which will be fantastic. And then I think what I'm going to do over the course of the next couple of years is seek to build that up gradually to be 3 months ahead, then 6 months ahead, and then ideally 12 months ahead. So I have that amount of money saved should I not be able to work, because I'm the main breadwinner in our house, well, sole breadwinner really in our house. And obviously if for some reason I couldn't work or something happened, that we would have some fallback. Now, as part of when I do those kind of April financial goals, I'm going to set some kind of quite strong savings goals as well. And that's a mixture of, we will have some money left over from buying the house, and also now that I've got my day-to-day budgeting kind of working really well, I now know what I can comfortably put aside for a rainy day, for our retirement, for all those other far off kind of things that I never have time to save for. I'm going to start putting regularly. I'm aiming for £2,000 a month into a stocks and shares ISA that will kind of be invested, and my aim is to basically never have to touch that unless there was an absolute catastrophe, and my emergency fund and the month ahead or month aheads can't cover it, and then that will be my last resort. But in effect, it's kind of our pension that I'm going to put that away to. Sorry, this is taking so long today, but there's a lot to go through. There's been a lot of changes going on. So for January, although I don't need to, I am increasing the money that goes into the home account to 3,500. I've got miscellaneous subscriptions and various other bits and pieces that come up to 100, and then I've got a loan of 750. And again, that will be something that will be cleared or finished by the time that we move house, and so won't be rolling forward to the April onwards budget, but is in there for now. So, as I said, a 5-week month for me, and what I'm going to be doing is front stuffing some of my envelopes, which has been working really well for me, and then some sort of slightly smaller stuffs as we go on. So I think this one comes out about 470, and then 200, 220, 240, that's 230, and then 130. So the idea is that the cash stuff gets smaller as the month goes on, but I'm still getting some regular money in, particularly for like the main categories I'm spending around food and some of the smaller ones. And then I've also made, which will leave me with £200 for sinking funds, And what I'm going to do is do these in priority order. So Christmas, so I've kind of literally written out the numbers here, which correspond to my binders, and these are the priority. So basically I will stuff Christmas first, I've got treats to stuff off 65, and then I will continue down the sinking funds until that £200 is allocated, plus anything else that's kind of flying around each week. So I will do that on a weekly basis. So my first cash stuff will be 200 into I'll probably do that at the end of the week on, but I'll see where we get to. So that 200 then will clear me out, and I'll be back to zero. But I know that I've got little pockets of cash that I'm squirreling away, working towards my savings standards, working towards my sinking funds. You might have seen my previous sinking funds video, which is hard to describe, but essentially is what I call my adulting sinking funds. So what I did is a combination of what was left already in sinking funds and my bonus. I've stuffed £5,000 into adulting. So I now kind of know that all the horrible things that could go wrong are kind of stuffed for. So my stuffing of my sinking funds throughout the rest of the year is just for the kind of more fun stuff. So I've got 1,000 in emergency, I've got 250 in health, I've got 500 in vets, I've got 500 in gifts, I've got 1,250 in car, or I spent £50 booking an MOT, but that's in that. I've got £1,000 in experiences, I've got £100 in my starter home, and then I will start to stuff a month ahead, as we talked about, and then financial goals, which will kind of come on to later. So future me is going to be really happy with that I put some of that money away, and that I've kind of done the sinking funds, and all the kind of worry and stress is being taken out, and then I can focus on kind of what and how I'm spending, which is the intentionality, and then also making sure that the fun sinking funds are getting stuffed. It's been a long day. Sorry, stuffed. So there we go. Thanks for bearing with me to the end of the video, if you have, because it was a bit of a long, rambly one. But I guess a few things are changing for me in January, or at least kind of the start of this year, and I just want to share them with you. So thank you so much for watching. Thanks for all your lovely comments and all the good ideas that I get from all of your channels. So if I don't follow your channel currently, please pop it in the comments box below and I'll check you out. I love watching these videos. That's why I started this channel, because I loved watching them so much. So yeah, I'd love to please share your channel. I'd love to check it out. So have a good start to January. It can be a bit bleak, the weather's a bit miserable, but we look forward to seeing you in the next video. Okay, take care, bye.